We're writing a new book. Book 74. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment here to review from Season 1, Episode 6. And this one is called Book 74. And we'll discuss exactly what that means later on as we review the episode. But this is officially the first episode into the second half of Season 1. What did you make of the first half of Season 1? From episodes 1 through to 5, what would you say about the show? What rating would you give overall?
A 7.5.
7.5? I think
because even though some episodes might have got a 6 and an 8, I feel like you can't really rate episode 5 off like the plot of the show, if that makes sense, like the actual dynamic.
No, I know. Sometimes, not every episode can be a 10.
Yep. Absolutely, I agree with that.
Well, most episodes can't be. You get my point. Some episodes need to slow down for the next episodes to catch fire.
I like the fact that like 4 and 5 hasn't really included any monsters. It's been more on the actual people.
Well, who knows? Maybe based on what happens in episode 6, maybe we're setting up for the return of the monsters. But we do start with Father Catry. He's like holding a service. He's talking about God, which obviously he's Father Catry. That's what he's going to do.
He's not going to be talking about Chris Benoit, man. He's talking about the big G.O.D.
That's what Father Catry knows best. God. He talks about the Bible. He talks about God. And I guess everybody in this town, maybe they need some form of hope. And if religion is their form of hope, then so be it. I don't think we'll see any colony people at this service from Father Catry. It appears to be all town folk, and I just don't think
they probably don't know Nathan's dead.
I don't think. Well, I think they do. I don't think religious people would really stay in the colony anyway. I don't think it's their cup of tea.
No.
After everyone leaves, we see Tabitha stay behind, and she asks Father Catry a question. She's like, I need to know, do you think that we could all be dead, and that this is some sort of like middle ground between heaven and hell, some sort of purgatory? Father Catry basically dismisses her. She says, you must think I'm crazy for asking this. He's like, no, I don't think you're crazy, but I've had lots of experience in answering this question, because it's obviously something that Father Catry hears a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the Borderline. Have you ever watched Alice in Borderline? It's kind of like that. So I think it's a valid question. Of course, people are going to ask this. You're not just going to arrive in this sort of world or this location and not ask questions. Just go to some house that some family's been murdered in, eat your pish dinners for the diner and shut up. You're going to have to ask questions.
Speaking of Alice in Borderland, though, I never thought that was coming. I thought that was a big swerve when that was revealed. That never once caught my mind.
I actually feel like that sucked. That whole reveal.
Yeah, I don't know what else they could have done though, but I didn't see that coming. So I'll give it props for being a surprise.
Yeah, but to me it was quite ludicrous, the fact that these people are playing games for like 9 months, while in reality they've been sitting in a bit of rubble for a day, and it's like, oh, that makes come on.
Well, I think I don't think that's great, but I think the worst possible outcome for like shows like this can be they woke up and it was all a dream. Now, I know some people wanted that to be the ending of The Walking Dead, but I think that is the worst ending you can possibly do, because that means everything that happened was non-existent and it was just a figment of that one person's imagination. So for me, the whole they woke up and it was a dream, that is probably the laziest and least creative piece of storytelling you can write.
Yep, I feel like this show's going to do something like Lost. Now, if you've watched Lost, it kind of goes for like, here, it's people stuck on this island after a plane crash, and then after 6 seasons, it's like, fuck, you even forgot they crashed on an island with a plane. I think by the time this show finishes, we could be looking at a case of, hey, remember this show when it was about they couldn't go outside at night and there was monsters? I feel like it's a good show, but do you not think it could go off the rails the further we go into it?
And I don't think it'll go 6 seasons.
No, I think it'll go 3, 4. But I think Harold Porano being a part of this show is a big deal, because I think he's seen the mess that Lost became, and I think he could.
I don't want to be a part of that. Don't go down that same route. But yeah,
he wants to right that wrong.
Father Catry basically dismisses Tabitha, and off she goes on her way. Once he's got rid of her, he locks up his little service room. He gets like a candle. He gets a lantern. He walks down the steps into like some sort of basement. And we see that he's actually got Sarah held captive. So he's holding her captured in a cellar, and then Father Caffrey begins to explain to her about the modern Bible. It's composed of 73 books, and he has a theory that the townspeople are being tested by God, and that they're currently formulating a new book, the 74th book, which ties into the title name, Book 74. And he wants Sarah to tell him more about the voices and prove their existence. So what did you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's I was going to say plausible case. Is it really plausible? I mean, I guess anything's plausible here, but it could be. But it's very confusing to me, to him, to hint this. Like, how can he hint the Bible, all this stuff that happened 2,000 years ago, then all of a sudden God's like, you know what? Fuck it. Make the 74th book.
Yeah, but do you not think it's all going to be dependent on someone's circumstances and their way of life? Like, everyone is going to have, like, a different mindset to what this is.
No, exactly, and I feel like this suits his character for obvious reasons. The Bible,
the fact that he is he's a priest or whatever.
Another thing you've got to factor in: everyone that ended up here came in a form of transport, car, maybe bus.
So you can't walk here. You don't think you can?
I don't think you could walk here. I feel like with cars, you're going at a certain speed, so the road can just. But maybe this is just.
Do you think there could be
America? Do you think you're on that side of the road? If you're in the UK, we drive on the other side of the road because we're not fucking retarded, but. Does that mean you would flip sides of the road and the tree would be there? How would different scenarios like that? Say if you stayed in your house, say you were a hermit, could you ever end up here? Probably not. So you try to tell me that God's like, here, it's only people who drive end up in this location.
Well, everyone that so far has got American plates. We're yet to encounter anybody foreign.
Which again, is it going to be some form of like American Squid Game sort of ordeal? People placing bets, how long these people can survive in this magical... I don't, could be. That's what I like about it, right? Because no matter how shit the show becomes, it's like, what's the fucking reveal going to be? What's going to happen?
Right, this guy's already put the final nail in the coffin of the show.
No,
episode 6.
Do you not feel like it's intriguing?
Yeah, it's intriguing,
Even if every character in this show was shite, which they're not, it's always like, what is this?
Out of the two options, Tabitha thinks they could be dead, and Father Caffrey thinks they could be in the middle of a new book. God could be, using these people. They could be getting tested by God, and that Book 74 is being. Out of those options, what do you think is more likely? I think they're both wrong.
I think it's some middle ground. I think it could be a case of, well, no, not middle ground. I think it's more towards the God aspect, where they're being tested, but it's not by God. It's maybe by like the government or something, CIA, something like that.
Strange. We'll come.
What do you think it is? Go for it.
I actually don't know, but I'm intrigued to find out.
But wait, what do you think it is?
I think they are being tested. I think it could be like a test. Obviously, it's not like Squid Game where there is money on the line. I don't see that, but I think there could be maybe someone observing this.
Is it from teleportation? How do people end up on the same road? How do they not escape it? Is it a hallucination that they can't escape? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I think you need to get. I don't think we're going to find those answers in episode 6. We then go to Boyd and Kenny. Boyd explaining to Kenny, look, I need to go out into the woods. The only way we can escape this place is to venture out further into the woods. We found out with the RV that the talisman will protect you. We never went out to the woods at night because we didn't know if it would work beyond the town. So now that we know, I'm going to go and I'm going to try and find us a way out of here. Try and find civilization. And Boyd wants to know if Kenny is able, if he's ready to lead things in case something happens to Boyd. And obviously, even if Boyd makes it, Boyd wants to know if he's okay to be here. Because Boyd, I think he's not planning on like a one-night thing. He's planning on gathering supplies and going out for a prolonged period of time and just seeing how far the woods will take him.
I like Kenny, right? I think he's a good guy, but see, as soon as it comes to someone coming up with a slight idea about how we got here or how do we escape, I think his arse goes. It's like when Jade's like, well, this has to be some... He's fucking lose it. Oh, no, that stuff will drive you insane. What's his obsession with not wanting to get out of here?
Yeah, Kenny doesn't like this. He rejects this plan. He says it's a suicide attempt, and if you're so eager to kill yourself, then why don't you just fuck off already?
I think it's with Kenny. I think this place gives his life a purpose. I think in the fucking real world, he must have been a loser.
I don't see that. I think he's more. I think he just doesn't want to lose anybody else. I think because we've seen in the early episodes, he was like, "I can't be burying anyone else. I can't be seeing any more dead bodies." So I think it's fair to say that Kenny, alongside Boyd, they seem to be the two that bury bodies. Again, that's what they were doing right here when they were having this conversation. They were burying Nathan. So it could just be that Kenny's literally sick of seeing people die, and he's sick of having.
Yeah, but Boyd's reason here is to like stop the bodies being buried potentially, end it all.
Yeah, and also Kenny did ask Boyd if he was going out alone, if he was taking backup, and Boyd said no, he was going alone. So maybe Kenny's more. Maybe Kenny thinks Boyd is perhaps the one giving up.
Maybe
Kenny thinks that Boyd.
I'm gonna go and kill myself, Kenny.
Well, I don't think he thinks that, but maybe he thinks Boyd is like treating his life as if it's not important anymore, and he's willing to like basically sacrifice it, which is what Boyd is kind of doing, but in a heroic way. He's willing to.
I don't have time left here. I've got Parkinson's, and we're going to move on.
I don't think Kenny. I think it's more of a case of he just doesn't want Boyd to die.
Well, you know, yeah, but like with Jade, he like shot it down really fast. Like, he explained the board. It's like all different locations, and Jade's like, well, how do we get? Oh, we don't talk about that, man. Come on.
Well, I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to talk about the things that are happening more, because if you don't talk about things, you can't really solve issues.
See, in my opinion, see, as long as it's daylight, I think everyone in the town should be in the church, right? What is the course of action here? That's what I'd be doing.
I think they should be reporting any little thing that they noticed. You've got Jade who's seeing these symbols, but he's not really telling anyone. I mean, why is he not saying to Boyd, look, we need to arrange a meeting with everybody in the town and colony.
Yeah.
And like you got Victor who is seeing things. He knows about the faraway tree.
He knows that the fact the forest is getting closer. All this stuff.
He's seen this boy in white a long time ago. It's like I just feel like there's people seeing little things that, and it would just be beneficial if they were all sitting down.
Yep.
And
discussing it.
We later see in this episode where we see that Tabitha, when Jim and Tabitha, they're talking about like the lights and stuff like this, and how there's no power, but the lights are on, and then they're knocking. Tabitha with Ethan are knocking down walls to try and see where the source is coming for the light to light up the light bulbs. And again, it's like, isn't that something that should be getting discussed among everybody in the community? I just feel like there's a lot of people I say a lot of people. It seems to be everybody in the town. And Victor, I guess, in the colony, everyone else in the colony house are just like partying and hipsters.
Let's just get lit.
Like they're not really contributing anything. But I feel like the people in the town are actually, if they came together and discussed every little thing that they know, then maybe they could put pieces together and work on a way out of here.
No, they could, but I think it does go back to the thing of people are probably afraid. But then, why can't you just discuss it and go back with your talisman? It's all right. See if everyone in this entire town and colony house came together and tried to come up with an idea. Like, see if they all tried to do what Boyd did. I know it could end in an absolute massacre, but I think it just has to get to a point where, right, we need to...
It's either we try and do something, or we just accept this as our lives. Until we die peacefully, or until the monsters get us, I don't think that is a good idea. So yeah, we need to discuss more, and we need to try and find a way out. Then Jade bursts into the Matthews house. They're not that happy. They're like, shouldn't you knock first? And he's like, no, I'm not going to knock. And they point out that he is the asshole that ran them off the road. But he puts all the blame on Toby, and he's like, look, that wasn't me. That was Toby, and that guy is dead now. I've known him since high school, and he's dead. He isn't walking around with a little, boo-boo on his knee. So let's, cut out all this crap and let's get down to business. And I feel like Jade, I kind of like this Jade guy.
He cut a good promo here, but again, he did barge it in their house. Jim's just a bit of a shite bag, this guy, right? So you got all these scenarios last episode where he's like, oh, these people, it's not safe here. And then some guy, right, who you don't even like, busts into your house and he's just like, most people knock. See if this was a real man, would Jim not fucking went over and threw him out the window?
What if Victor burst him without knocking?
I don't know, lunchbox to the side of the skull, Abel Teller style, good night.
Speaking of Victor, where the hell is he?
I don't know.
I think Jim killed him. Off screen.
Buried him in his fucking lunchbox.
He's in the lunchbox, damn it.
You fix roller coasters? Well, you can put this antenna up a tree.
Yeah, so he takes him out to a tree. They're building, they're getting all the parts and stuff. They're like stripping wires from the car, and Jim's like, why the heck did we need to go all the way out here? And Jade basically says, well, look, this car costs a shitload of money, and I'd rather use the pieces from this car than whatever crap cars are in the town.
And it's like more modern. He says it's like an Audi Q5 compared to some of the cars that are in the town that have probably been there since the 60s.
Maybe their stuff doesn't even work. We then see them trying to put this piece together. Like, they try and communicate. Jade wants Jim to climb a high tree. Jim's like, the tree's not high enough, but Jade says, look, it is high enough, and basically I'm afraid of heights, so I get vertical, so I can't do it. And he kind of, again, rubs Jim the wrong way, and it's like, you know, you were the peasant that built, what was it they called, the teacup, right?
Aye.
And I'm the guy that created a multi-million-dollar business. Jim's like, you know what, fuck you then, walks off. But Jade manages to apologise, so like, I'm not good with people, I'm not good with words, and he convinces him to stay and climb the tree. Now, while Jim is climbing the tree, Jade gets brutally attacked by some black guy with...
Civil War soldier.
Yeah, he's got like a rifle with like a massive spear on the end of it. What would you call that?
It's a bayonet.
Aye.
Fucking
I know, but it didn't look... No, but it didn't look like a bayonet. It looked like
a... But basically it's a bayonet.
I know, but it looked like a different form of bayonet. But anyway...
A Winchester.
Yeah, Jade gets chased.
See, right, this immediately tells us that this is like 200 years ago. Civil War soldiers.
Yeah.
So, something's up here.
And when you see the monsters, they do look old-fashioned as well.
Yeah, so Invictus been there a while. So
how long's this town been here? And the boy in white, who we haven't seen that much of, but when we do see him, he looks like someone very long... He looks
the 9th century?
Yeah. So we see Jade getting chased by this guy. He stabs him, then he stabs him again, and he's covered in blood, and he sees dead bodies hanging from trees, and he's freaking out. And is he dead? No, because it looks like it was just some form of like hallucination. Jim tries to see if Jade's okay, but Jade's like, get the fuck off me, and he walks basically back to his house. I don't know where he goes.
He still lives with Kenny, doesn't he?
Yeah, he lives with Kenny. Then we see Jim. He grabs the radio, and he's trying to, I don't know, get word on the other side, but he only receives static, so doesn't look like their attempt to...
This masterful plan did not go to plan, did it?
No, but you know what? They tried. Then we see Boyd talking with Christy. He visits the clinic where Lou Sr. died. I guess he was looking for blood. Kenny. All he finds is blood. Then Christy reveals that, look, maybe Kenny doesn't need an authority figure. Maybe he doesn't need like a boss. Maybe he needs a father. And
come on.
I think she feels bad about this because I think straight away Boyd kind of thinks of maybe his relationship with his son Ellis. And she tries to apologise, but Boyd's like, no, you're right. Maybe I'm being too hard on Kenny. Maybe he needs more of a father figure. So we then see Boyd. He goes and gets like a glove and a baseball glove and a ball. Mitt. A mitt, ball, glove, whatever.
Baseball, mitt.
Major League Baseball.
Fucking sucks, right?
Boyd says...
I thought he'd be more of a basketball player. NFL, not fucking baseball.
Well, Boyd said he used to be good back in the day, so they're playing. Kenny's beginning to come around a bit more. After a discussion, I think Kenny is now saying, yeah, look, I will create us a bat. I'll sculpture a bat for us out of wood for when you get back. So then Boyd looks at Kenny, he's like, yeah, Kenny's on my side. So
Kenny's the man, he's coming back.
Looks like Kenny's found more hope, and Boyd says, I don't need a mitt. Give me your best shot. Kenny's like, well, I've got fire in this hand, and Boyd's like, nah, don't worry about it.
He's got pins and needles in that hand.
Kenny then goes to throw the ball, and we see Boyd is catching and throwing hand is like completely shaking, and he can't seem to control it, but Kenny doesn't notice this at first and throws the ball, but then Boyd has like a magical catch. It didn't even seem real.
Yeah, he used the other hand though.
Yeah, and he wasn't even looking, and he caught the ball. So I thought he was bullshitting about being this, great prospect back in high school, but...
He's the man.
Maybe he could have been the next. I don't know any famous baseballers, but...
What's the one, Rose? Babe Rose?
Babe Rose, aye. Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Fucking Rose.
I don't give a fuck about baseball, right?
Babe Ruth. So we see them playing... with the thing, with the baseball. Bit weird seeing two grown men, but here, maybe that's what they need, a bit of relief, a bit of fun. A
bit of banter.
Yes, we then go back to Father Catry, and he is dealing with Sarah. Sarah's like, the voices want me to tell you something, so he gets her paper, even though you said there was no A4 paper, I believe, in the last episode. That's why they chose to write on walls. Father Catry's got all the paper you need.
Was this A4 paper or fucking pishy Bible paper?
Hold on, wait, you think Father Catry would have ripped up Bibles to give to Sarah? Come on.
Nope, but A3.
Come on.
A5? What's the smallest? I don't know.
A3 smaller than A5, I think.
A3 then.
Yeah. No, wait. No, wait. It's a larger. The larger the number gets, the smaller it is. So A5's 8. So he gives her paper, and she starts scribbling a shitload of stuff down. Then she reveals a drawing, and it's like of a chocolate bar, I guess we find out. So,
yeah, but see, at the time, it looked like a spaceship.
It did.
And I was like, what makes a bit more sense than a chocolate bar?
But Sarah said the voices, this is proof that they're real and that they're not made up, because they seen Father Catry dig this bag when he came to the town, when he first arrived. Then Father Catry goes out to the middle of a field, he digs up. Lots of digging. We continue to dig here.
It's a weird bag to bury.
Yeah, so he gets his bag. In it, he's got like a bottle of alcohol. I'm not sure if it's whiskey or vodka, but it's a bottle of alcohol. I thought he was going to take a drink, but he decided against it. Then he pulled out a shirt covered in blood.
And then a chocolate bar.
Which was very weird. Like, why did he... Is Father Catry a killer?
He gives me that sort of vibe.
Has Father Catry killed someone and he was hiding the evidence by burying this shirt? Is it his shirt?
Yeah, because it had the collar, priest collar on it.
So, yeah, why was he burying this? And then he pulls out a chocolate bar, and that was what Sarah drew on the paper. So the voices in Sarah's head, maybe these voices
will have to be legit.
Are legit, because how the hell would they know about this bag that Father Catry buried years ago when he first arrived here in the town? So we all thought Sarah was crazy.
I mean, someone could have seen the bag getting buried from afar, but not the fucking chocolate bar.
Is it fair to say that she's not crazy? She's just being like controlled or possessed at the moment by something else?
But how did she get possessed? Maybe it's the same thing with the seizures on Ethan, because maybe he's getting groomed by the boy in white. Who knows what's going on? But yeah, bit interested to see how this goes. But
we don't really know. But then
he did say that we've got to give proof to Boyd to keep you alive. So this is the proof he needs.
Yeah, then we see Kenny's mother, and she takes Jade into like the back of her diner where she's got like all this basically storage stuff where people come and take it if they need it. And she shows him this book, I guess, from years ago that someone else used to live in the town used to draw, and it's got the same symbols that Jade has been seeing. So we don't know what that means, but Jade has been seeing the same symbols in his hallucinations or whatever that somebody else used to see. So will that lead to anything? I guess we'll find out. We also see Tabitha digging a hole in the basement. She wants to find out where the electricity power lines lead. And Jim is like, okay, give me that shovel again. More digging. And at the colony house, it looks like they're having a party. And then we see some guy with like a weird, porn tash moustache. He's walking up the stairs. He opens the window, and there is a monster outside. Tash. And so earlier on, we seen someone leaving flowers outside, and Julie picked them up. She didn't know who was doing it, but it turns out it must have been this guy, and he was leaving the flowers for the monster. And then the monster asks him, "When can I come in?" And that finishes off the episode. So could the colony house about to come under attack here?
Well, if you look at the colony house, right, you've got the main woman, Ellis,
Fatima,
Julie, and then you've got Victor, right? But see, apart from those five, they could all literally die and nothing would really change. So in my opinion, I feel like the colony house is going to get fucking wiped out. Whether it's for this person... Trini. Or the forest that gets closer. Somebody's dying. I feel like this specky bastard's going to get buried in the hole Victor dug up like 3 episodes ago. That's my prediction.
Who's Specky?
This guy with the tash had specs on.
All right, aye, did he? I wasn't really. I didn't realise.
You know, it's his big tash with those big specs.
Aye, well, everyone wears specs, but no one has a tash like that. Well,
Jimmy Savile didn't have a tash, but he wore specs.
All right, this video's going off topic. What are you giving the rating?
I'll give this one a 7.
A 7? Sticking with a 7. You know what? I'll get a 7 as well, because I kind of feel like this one. It didn't give us like answers, but I think like we dived a little bit deeper and asked out some more questions.
No, I think it's good about this show. I feel like you could do your own writing on the wall. I don't feel like I'm not going to write on my wall, but I feel like you could.
The writings on the wall. I did that an
episode ago, mate. But I feel like you could do like a 3-hour discussion point about this show, about what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, what is going on? But we don't have 3 hours, we've got about 20 minutes, so we're going to wrap up here. I will also give this one a 7, so we're rating this 7 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. Episode 7, Season 1, called All Good Things Must Come to an End. Well, actually, it's just called All Good Things, but
Maybe they'll
normally...
What's episode 8 called? Come to an End?
Normally good things do come to an end, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, guys, that is it. We'll catch you in the next one. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and we will see you later. But until next time, peace.